Hey everybody, this is a Fender EOB Ed O'Brien Sustainer Strat. I bought it because of the sustainer feature. I hope you'll consider watching my brief thoughts on this beautiful guitar. Well, this is a Fender EOB for short, Ed O'Brien Sustainer Strat. I actually didn't know who Ed O'Brien was. That tells you how out of touch I am with music. Some of you, I feel like I know a lot about music of the 50s, 60s, and 70s. I maybe even could go on a game show or something and win some prizes. But I don't know almost nothing about music of the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. I mean, zilch. So I didn't really know who Radiohead was. I saw Ed O'Brien when I bought this guitar. I saw some interviews with him, including on that pedal show? A really thoughtful, interesting guy. But he's one of the guitar players in Radiohead. And he started, this was his signature Strat. And it has this Fernandez sustainer in it. And it's actually a very beautiful guitar. And I bought it for the sustainer. That was the reason I bought it. But it's a well-made guitar. It's a Mexican guitar. I'll be honest with you. But you know what I'm realizing is some of those signature guitars have distinct things that make you want them. Like this, I didn't buy this because I like Ed O'Brien. I bought it because Ed O'Brien set it up with certain things that were only available in this guitar. And that's the reason to buy a signature guitar. You know, the specs might be kind of distinct. That's why you should get a signature guitar. And this, to me, is one of the cooler ones I've seen Fender come out with. It's too bad that it wasn't made in America, but I think the quality on it's very high. I mean, it's a professional level guitar, and it's a great tool. To me, it's a tool for ambient guitar. You could definitely use it in hard rock, like Pink Floyd or something. It would sound great, or so much stuff with, drums and everything. But I bought it, particularly in here, as a kind of tool for ambient music. Introspection. But I do think this is a signature guitar, and I think the parts in it are all really nice. It was not all that cheap for a Mexican guitar. It's got a really nice neck on it. It's a 9.5 radius. It's got nice tuners. You know, I went to the music store and I checked it out in the music store, and I said, you know, if I can't get this guitar in good tune sitting there in the music store, I'm not going to buy it, no matter how much I want that Fernandez Sustainer pickup. But I picked it up off the rack, or a guy got it. It was way up on the top, but guy brought it down, and I started playing it, and you know, it had that really nice intonation, which you want, because to me, I bought this as a tool for ambient music. Ambient music. You know, I watch some of these ambient guitar channels, and I'm always a little envious. I can't make my guitar do some of those drones and things, but this will kind of help you out. My favorite thing about this guitar, other than the sustainer, is the neck plate design of the sacred geometry and the flower of life. That's actually a very cool symbol that's very ancient, and the idea of sacred shapes. And there was a kind of religious element to it, and also kind of philosophy and religion. They sometimes kind of go together, but in the Middle Ages, they used geometry to express the perfection of God or the eternal or something like that. And this is the flower of life. It's actually a very cool symbol. This is my book, The Art of Ancient Music. It came out during the pandemic, which was too bad. But it talks a little bit about the music of the spheres, and I'm going to read you some passages that have to do with the sacred geometry and the music of the spheres. A byproduct of the idea of a musically harmonious universe was the notion of the music of the spheres. With its roots in ancient philosophy, the music of the spheres would become an important component of medieval cosmology. The music of the spheres idea came from the ancient Greek notion that all things vibrate, a theory some might say vaguely foreshadowed the idea of molecules. Since vibrations cause sound, the movements of heavenly bodies produced a heavenly music. The music of the spheres also tied in with the ancient pseudoscience of numerology. Music in both the ancient and medieval world intertwined with astronomy and astrology, particularly the idea of the 7 celestial spheres. These spheres, the planetary orbits, reflected the mystical associations with the number 7 that corresponded to the number of distinct notes in a modal scale. The celestial spheres also vibrated, producing their music. Since the principles of harmony that made music also applied across the board, harmony existed in nature too, including in the heavens. Tool. And as a matter of fact, you know, I looked at when I wanted a sustainer guitar, I looked at a couple others. The Schecter and Jackson have some, and I'm sure they're fine. But I'm not a metal player, really. I feel like I could play some metal, but I'm not like a shredder type player. And I think they're really good for like screaming, you know, stadium rock, whistling feedback and stuff. But this one, I don't know if it's how the pickup is calibrated, or it's just, but there's something about that pickup. It has that mellowness, that kind of it's more a subtler. It goes with the Olympic white, the color of purity and reflection. But this is a very cool guitar, and if you're interested in it, I'd recommend it. It's got nice pickups, Texas special, some kind of humbucker. These little knobs here are for the sustainer pickup. I think this one's on and off. I don't know. I always just kind of mess with them. One of these is the pickup is when you have that like up, it's just straight up sustainer. That's like a mix, and then you get like a harmony, so you can set it'll like harmonize with itself. It's got kind of some weird stuff on the back. I did notice the wiring on this guitar will crackle, and at first I thought, well, I hope it's my cord, because you can always replace a cord, but it's done it on this nice new cord. So I'm pretty sure there's some, you kind of got to jiggle it a little bit. I always hate that because you're never sure if it's going to get worse and one day fail on you altogether. It's got a battery compartment. I never like batteries. And this extra compartment, which is not normal to Strats, it's just the kind of unusual electronics inside the guitar. But I think the technology in this is kind of like an EBO. But to me, it works a lot better with the EBO, because with the EBO, you were always kind of fussing with it. I just remember that EBO never worked that well, except on a couple strings. There'd be certain strings it would hit on, and others, and there was a technique involved. But this is, you play it like a guitar, but it's really nice. You can use it for a meditation device. I'm going to meditate now. I'm happy. I'm healthy. I'm wealthy. People like me. I'm going to knock them dead today. So, a man in Podunk, Idaho. A man in Podunk, Idaho. He doesn't know that he has just entered the Twilight Zone. Space. The final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Their 5-year mission to explore the unknown. To boldly go where no man has gone before. What am I doing? I'm making a fool of myself. But it's pretty cool. You can get some pretty nice ambient sounds. It's got